So that's kind of like the crazy intro for this tune. Should be fun. My name is Terry Hsieh. I'm a jazz musician, so I kind of get up a little bit later than most people. Usually because I'm playing late at night, because we work, when the sun goes down. I was born in Chicago in the USA. I'm currently based in Beijing, China, where I'm playing jazz, teaching, and doing some pop music. It's an incredible music scene here. You can find music of all types all over Beijing, being able to kind of make a living doing what we're doing and doing it creatively. The creativity, I think, is the thing that keeps me here. I'm not a guitar player. When I realized, oh, there's a community of people who think like me, who are artists, who are musicians. I think that was the moment where I was like, this is the place I want to be. Not a drummer either. I started playing trombone when I was in 6th grade, so maybe I was 12. The thing I like most about the trombone is the quality of its tone. You have an infinite number of notes actually on the slide, so you can really do a lot with the trombone. The jazz scene in China is really interesting because you can break it down by city. And different cities have their own different characteristics as anywhere across the world. New York certainly has its own vibe. Paris has its own vibe. Berlin has its own vibe. Chicago has its own vibe. In a small scene like Beijing, you need to build your audience. And so you all obviously want to be gigging all the time. Or at least for me, I want to be gigging all the time. We're a septet, so that means that we have guitar, bass, drums, and actually 3 horn players and keyboard, myself on keyboard. I should give a disclaimer, I'm not actually a keyboard player. Hey! 谢老师好。安老师. This is a keyboard chart. It should have most of the hits in it. Half of us are like Chinese musicians, and then half of us could be like foreign musicians as well. There are a lot of Chinese musicians that are not as well known who are actually quite talented, and I want to utilize them as much as possible. So it's a kind of a pretty international group. It's a lot of fun, and these guys are good. We've got some new music we're working on today. I arranged a couple of pop tunes, a couple of covers of some stuff that I think people will know. So I'm going to try it today. It's pretty tough, but I think we'll get something good. When I started playing classical music, I used to get in a lot of trouble because I would add my own notes into the song. So I play piano, and then my teacher would be like, no, you can't play that note. I was like, but it sounds better. He's like, you don't get to decide that, So I always thought, that's kind of stupid. I want to be able to add notes to my music whenever I want. 1, 2, 3, 4. My favorite part of every rehearsal is that moment where you've put in all this hard work, practicing the music, that moment where everything just clicks, where the groove or the idea that I had in my head is realized by the musicians, and it just comes out like I hear it. So when that happens, I think that's definitely my favorite part of the rehearsal. There is such thing as organized chaos, and everybody is kind of testing that edge, are we going to fall off? And the best jazz groups that I play in are the ones that were constantly on that edge. And it's we're falling, and then all of a sudden somebody, bam, and then we're back together. The gig we're playing tonight is our first show back in a month. We've been rehearsing a lot, so we have a lot of new material. So I'm really excited to hear how that goes.
Anyway, let's play. Yeah.
1, 2, I think the first 10 minutes of every gig, for me, are always the most nervous. I'm always freaking out as to are we going to be on our A game tonight? First notes are always the most nerve-wracking for me. Usually people are always asking me like, when are you coming back to America? I don't really know how to answer that because I kind of like it here.